Good evening, everyone. So, we'll start our session today. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Let me know in the chat box. Okay. So, yesterday we discussed about for loop, right? So, yesterday we have discussed about for loop. Today we try to solve some basic programs on for loop. Okay. So, we try to solve some basic programs. So, let me start with simple program. So, the first problem is printing even numbers within a range. Okay, so printing even numbers within a range. Okay, so how we will solve this problem with the help of for loop. Okay, so let me go to my accelerator. Okay, so what is the problem? So printing even numbers within the range. Okay, so if the range is from 1 to 100, so within 100 whatever the even numbers are there, I need to print all those even numbers. Okay, so we can solve this problem with the help of for loop. How? We will see. Okay, so let me have one range like up to 50. Okay, so what I will do, I will take for loop. I will start with 1. Okay, I will start with 1 and the range is up to 50, right? So I less than or equals to 50 and I'm incrementing. Okay, so inside this I need to write the logic. Okay, so to check whether this number, okay, which is present inside the I variable, whether that number is even or not, to check that I need to write logic inside the for loop, right? So from 1 to 50 every value will be stored inside this I, right? So I need to check whether it is even number or not. If it is a even number, I need to print that I, otherwise no. Okay, so how I will check? I can use modulus operator also. What is even number? If a number is divisible by 2, then we can say it has a even number, right? So I will be checking whether that number which is present inside the I variable is divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, whether the remainder is equals to 0 or not. If it is 0, then we can say it is a even number, right? So then it is a even number. So instead of printing even number, just I will print that I. Okay, just I will print that I. So let me remove this println. Okay, print, and here I am giving space. Okay, so what is the difference between print and println? Println means it will print on the next line. Okay, so print means it will print within the line. Okay, that is the difference between print and println. So I want to print all the numbers in a straight line. So that is the reason I choose print. Okay, so if it is divisible, if this condition got true, then it will enter into this and it will try to print that number. Otherwise, no need to print because it is a odd number. If this condition is false, then obviously it is a odd number, right? So I will next update the value. So later I will check the condition. If it is within the range of 50, then again I will check the condition. If it is a even number, I will print. Otherwise, later updation. Okay, this is how it works. So, let me run this program. See, I am getting all the even numbers within the range of 50, 1 to 50. So, is it clear? So, how to do this? I hope it is clear. So, let me know in the chat box quickly. So, we will move to another problem. Is it clear how to print the even numbers within the range? Try to respond, guys. Okay. Now, the next question. Okay. So, the next question is, I want to print sum of n numbers. Okay. So, I want to print sum of n numbers. How to do that? Okay. So, let me take 50 only. The numbers within range up to 50. Okay. So, I want to print the sum of 1 to 50 numbers. Can I do that? Yes. With the help of for loop only, we can do that. Okay. So, let me take for loop. So, I will start for loop. I will initialize int I is equals to 1 and I less than or equals to, let me take some 25 up to 1 to 25. Okay. And I plus plus. Okay. So, I need to print the sum. Right. So, to store sum, I need one more variable. Right. So, let me declare one more variable like int sum is equals to, I will be initializing with 0 starting. Okay. Later, inside, what logic I need to write? To add all the numbers from 1 to 25, I need to write the logic. Right. So, for each and every iteration, the I will be stored with different number from 1 to 25. In first iteration, it will store 1. In second iteration, it will store 2. In third iteration, it will store 3. Right. So, like this, the I will store different values up to 25. So, those values I need to add to this variable. Okay. How we can do that? Sum is equals to sum plus, okay, I. Right. So, I need to add with the sum. Whatever the sum included, with that sum, I need to add the present number also. Right. Or instead of this, we can write like by using assignment operator like sum plus is equals to I. This is also fine. Okay. We can use either of this. So, after getting sum, what we need to do? I need to print that sum also. So, after completing this total for loop, at last I will print the sum. Okay. So, sum is sum. Okay. So, let me use plus for the concatenation. Okay. This is how we will do. So, what will happen here? Each and every time I will store one number. That one number will be added with the sum. Initially, it is 0. 0 plus first iteration, it will store 1. 0 plus 1. Okay. Then the sum will be storing 1. Okay. Later, it will be incremented. I will become 2. So 2 is less than or is equals to 25. Right? This condition will get true. Later it will come to here. Okay. So sum is 1. Previously sum is 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So like this it will be keep on adding. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay. Let me run this program. So if you guys observe, I got 325 as output. Okay, I got 325 as output. So I hope this is also clear for everyone. So these are basic ones. Okay, so we will go to another problem. Now the next problem is I need to find out the factorial of a number. Okay, finding factorial of a number. Okay, so if a number is given by the user, then what I need to do? I need to find the factorial of that. What is factorial? What is factorial? A number which divides this number is called as factorial. A number which divides the given number is called as factorial. Okay. So for example, let me take 4. Okay. For 4, we are having factors. Right? What are those factors? Coming to the 1. So 1 is divisible by 4. Sorry, 4 is divisible by 1. Right? So if I divide 4 with 1, I will get remainder 0. Right? So then I can say 1 as a factor of 4 because I am getting, whenever I divide 4 by 1, I am getting remainder 0. So that is the reason I can say 1 is a factor of 4. Coming to the 2. Whether 2 divides 4? Yes, right? 2 2s are 4 and I will get the remainder 0. So I can say 2 is also a factor of 4. Right? So coming to the 3. Is 3 is a factor? No. No, right? Whether 3 divides 4? No. Even though it divides, I will get remainder 1. Okay. So that is the reason I cannot say it as a factor. So coming to the next 4. Is 4 is a factor? Yes. 4 divides 4. Right? I will get remainder 0. So that is the reason 4 is also a factor. For 4, these 3 are the factors. Okay. So coming to the next. Can I consider 5 as a factor? Can I consider 5 as a factor? No. Okay. So until, if I take 4, until that number will be the factors. If I take 5 here, 1 to 5, within this range only, we will be having factors. Okay. More than that range, if we cross more than that range, those are not considered as the factors. Okay. So if I have 10 as a number, okay, if I take 10 as a number, the factors of this 10 will be lied between 1 to 10 only. Okay. So more than that, the factors won't lie. Okay. So if I take 20 as a number, so within 1 to 20, I will be having factors. The factors will lie between those range only. Okay. So this is how we can find the factors. Okay. So we will see programmatically how to do. Factorial of a number. Okay. So let me take one number. Int number is equals to by mistake I wrote factorial factors. Factors of a number. So let me take a number so called as 8. Let me take 8 as a number. So now I need to find the factors of this 8. So let me start. I said right. So the factors of any number lies between 1 to that number. Right. So let me take for loop. So int I is equals to 1 and I less than or equals to the number. Okay, which is 8 and I plus plus. So I will be incrementing. After this, what I need to check? I need to check whether the number which is stored inside this I. So whatever all the values it will store 1 to number. Right? What is the number 8? So it will store 1, it will store 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Until 8 it will store. Right? So I need to check whether this number is divisible by this I or not. Okay, so whatever the value I stores, whether that value will divides this 8 or not, I need to check. If it divides, if I get remainder 0, then I can say it is a factor. Right? So if number modulus I. So I want reminder, right? So is equals to 0. If I get reminder as a 0, then I can say that number is a factor, right? Simply I will print that number, print that I. Okay, so I will print that I. So if this condition becomes false, then it is not a factor and I am not printing anything. So let me see, let me run the program. See, for 8, these are all the factors. So it is divisible by 1. 8 is divisible by 1, right? Whenever 8 divides 1, so I will get remainder as 0, right? So 2 also divides 8. Whenever 2 divides 8, I will get remainder 0. Coming to the 4, 4 also divides 8, 8. 8 also divides 8, right? So these are all the factors. So let me give some big number like 24. Okay, so let me see. See, these are all the factors. So for every number, 1 is factor, right? So 1, 2 is also factor, and 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Okay, so the factors of a number lies between 1 and that number. Okay, so we don't want to go above that number. Okay, always the factors lie between 1 and that number only. Okay, so this is how we can find the factors of a number. Okay, so coming to the next basic question, which is finding the factorial. Okay, so finding the factorial of a number. Okay, so how to find this? If I have some number like 5, how we can find the factorial for it? Just 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so we will multiply until 1. Okay, so we will multiply until 1. So that will become the factorial of that 1. Okay, so we will try to do this with the help of for loop. So how we can do? Think that I want the factorial of 5 only. Okay, so what I want to do? We can do this in 2 ways. Okay, so I can start either with 5 or I can start either with 1. Okay, first let me start with 5. So let me initialize I with 5. Okay, so later until where I need to multiply? Until 1, right? Means this I have started with 5. So I should be greater than or equals to 1. It should not go below the 1. It should not take 0 or negative values. Until 1 it should go. Right? So if it need to go until 1, I have initialized 5 initially for I. So it need to decrement also here. Right? So I need to have decrementation here. So what will happen? First, I will store 5. So, it will check the condition whether 5 is greater than or is equals to 1. Yes, the condition will be true. And it will go inside the for loop and execute some logic. Later, I need to get 4. For that, I am doing decrementation. So, later, I will become 4. Later, it will check the condition until later the 3. I will become 3. Later, it will check the condition. Later, it will become 2. Later, it will check that condition. Later, it will become 1. Okay. So, 1 is also less than or is equal, greater than or is equals to 1. That at that time also the condition will be true. Later, I will become 0. Whenever I becomes 0, the condition will become false and it will exit the for loop. This is how it works. So, in order to calculate the factorial, let me take a variable. So, fact. Okay. So, let me take this and I am initializing this with 1. Okay. So, coming to here, what I need to do? I need to multiply, right? 5 to until 1. So, to multiply, what I need to do? Fact is equals to fact into 1. Sorry, into I. Okay. So, let's see. What will happen? First, I will be initialized with 5. 5 is greater than or is equals to 1. It will come inside. It will follow. It will execute this expression. So what is the fact first? I have initialized with 1. Right? 1 into, what is the I value? 5. 1 into 5 is equals to 5. Right? So now the fact will store 5. What it will store? It will store 5. Okay. So coming to the next, I will become 4 after decrementation. Right? So is 4 greater than or is equals to 1? Yes. Right? So after that, after condition becomes true, it will go to this expression. Now the fact storing 5. Right? 5 into I, which is I value 4. Right? 5 into 4. Okay. So now this value 5 fours are 20. Now this fact will be storing 20. Okay. So coming to the next. Next, I will be decremented. I will become 3. Right? Whether 3 greater than or is equals to 1? Yes. So it will go to this expression. Fact. What is the fact? 5 into 4. Value is the fact, which is 20 is storing. So 20 into I, which is I value is 3. Right? So into 3. Okay. So this multiplication value will be stored inside that fact now. Okay. So what it is storing? Some 20 into 3. Some 60. Right. So totally 60 it is storing. So later I will be decremented to 2. Whether 2 greater than or is equals to 1? Yes. So now what the fact is storing? 60. Right. Into 2. Okay. So now this will store 120. Okay. This is how it works. 120. Later I will become 1 and it will store that also. So which is 120. Value need to come as 120. So let's see. So let me print at last the fact. Factorial of a number. Fact. Okay. So let me run this. So what is the value I am getting? 120. Okay, so this is how the for loop works. Okay, this is how we can find the factorial of a number with the help of for loop. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, so after this, so we try to solve one more problem like finding the prime number, whether a number is prime number or not. Okay, so after this we will move to the next concept. So prime number, checking whether a number is prime number or not. So how to check whether a number is prime number or not? First we will take a number, right? So let me take some 5 only. Okay, so what if on which basis we call a number as a prime number? On which basis? If a number is divisible by 1 and itself, then we call that number as a prime number, right? So if a number is divisible by both 1 and itself, okay, so if 5 is there, it should divisible by 1 and it should divisible by only 5, means a prime number should have only two factors. Okay, it should have only two factors, that is 1 and itself. Then we can say a number is a prime number, right? So the same thing we try to write in a logic format. Okay, so how we can write that? Let's see. Okay, so let me drag this down. Let me take number as a 5. How I can check whether that number is a 5, is a prime number or not? How we can check? So what I will do, I said there will be two factors, 1 and itself, right? So instead of 1 and itself, in between these numbers, like for if I take 5, okay, so 1 should be factor and itself, which is 5 should be factor. Other than this, what are all other numbers are there? Like 2, 3, 4. If that number which is 5 is divisible by these numbers, then it is not a prime number. If it is having only two factors like 1 and 5, then it is a prime number, right? So for that, I will initialize I with 1. Okay, and I will give iterations up to that number, which is 5 here, right? So I took 5 as a number. Up to that number, I need to check the condition. Okay, so later that I will be incrementing. So after that, here I need to write the logic to check whether a number is a prime number or not, whether a number is divisible or not. So for that, what I need to write? If this number, I need to check, here I will be storing up to 1 to this number, which is 5, right? 1 to 5, every number will stored inside this I variable. So what I need to check? I need to check whether this number is divisible by this I or not. Okay, so number divisible by I. If it is divisible means I need to get reminded 0, right? So if it is divisible by I, what I will do means I will count. Okay, let me have one variable like count. Okay, let me initialize with 0. So if it is divisible by 0, then what I will do? I will increase the count. I will increase the count. Count is equals to count plus 1. I will increase the count. Why I am doing this? Because I said, right, so if a number is a prime number, it should have only two factors, right? So here I have started from 1 to that number, means 1 should be factor and itself should be factor. Those are two factors, right? If the count is more than 2, then I can say either one of this is divisible, is also divisible by is also dividing that 5, right? If the count is more than 2, then I can say any one of this number is also dividing this 5, right? Then it is not a prime number. If the count is 2, then these are the two factors, right? So if the count is 2, I can consider it as a prime number, otherwise it is not a prime number. Okay, so here I will be increasing the count if this condition satisfies. Okay, so later I will check. Later, what I need to check? I need to check the count. Okay, so after completing this for loop, after completing all the iterations from 1 to 5, okay, some count I will get here, right? Here I need to check if count count is equals to 2, then it is a prime number. It is a prime number. If the count is more than or less than 2, then it is not a prime number. Okay, then it is not a prime number. Okay, simple. Okay, what I have done here? What is prime number? A number which is divisible by 1 and itself. It should have only two factors. Then that number we can say it as a prime number. Okay, so what I am doing here? I am initializing I from 1 to that particular number. Okay, if the factors are only 1 and itself, then the count should be 2. Okay, other than these two numbers, okay, other than these two numbers, if any other number divides, then the count will be more or less than 2. Okay, the count may greater than 2 or less than 2. Okay, so if the count is not equals to 2, then it is not a prime number. If it is equals to 2, then it is a prime number. Okay, this is how we can write the simple logic to find whether a number is a prime number or not. Okay, so let me run. Let me check whether 5 is a prime number or not. Yes, it is a prime number. Okay, so let me give some time. No, it is not a prime number. Okay, so this is how we can check. This is the simple logic. I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, let me know in the chat box. Is it clear? Quick, give the response. Try to respond. Okay, so now we will see something like nested for loop. Okay, so nested for loop. So, like nested if, there is something like nested for also, which is one for loop will be present inside another for loop. Okay, so let me write the syntax. So this will be the one for loop. It will be having initialization, condition, okay, condition, and initialization, condition, updation. Okay, so this is one for loop. Inside this for loop, okay, we will be having one more for loop. So one more for loop. So like initialization, it will be also having initialization, condition and updation. Okay, so this is how the syntax looks. So inside here we can have the implementation of inner for loop. We can have implementation of inner for loop. Inner for loop. So here, so not only here, before this for loop also we can have the implementation of outer for loop, like here, like in this part also we can have, or here also we can have. Okay, so here we can have the implementation of outer loop. Okay, so this for loop is outer for loop, this for loop is inner for loop. Okay, so mainly why we go with for loop means if we want to print something like matrix formats. Okay, matrix. So in maths we will get some matrix, right? So those formats, if we want to print, then we must and should go with nested for loop. Okay, so let me show with simple example how it works. Okay, so let me have some simple example. Okay, so let me take a for loop, outer for loop with iteration 2, means which I is equals to 1 and I less than or equals to 2 and I plus plus. So how many iterations the outer loop is taking? 2 iterations, 1 and 2. Okay, so coming to the inner loop. Let me have inner loop also with the iterations 3, means let me initialize with different variable. Okay, j is equals to, let me start with 2 and j less than or equals to 3 and j plus plus. Okay, so the inner loop is taking 3 iterations and the outer loop is taking 2 iterations. So how this works? Okay, so for each and every iteration of outer loop, the total inner loop will execute. Okay, so I am repeating once again. So for each and every iteration of outer loop, the total inner loop will get executed. Okay, so first I will be initialized with 1. Right, I is equals to 1. So let me have I is equals to 1. So later it will check the condition. Okay, so is 1 less than or is equals to 2? Yes. Okay, so later it will enter this for loop. Okay, if the condition is satisfied, then next it will go to this for loop. Here, j is initialized with 1, right? So the j will become 1. Okay, it will check the condition. Whether j less than or is equals to 3, is 1 less than or is equals to 3? Yes, right? So later it will enter the implementation. Let me have some implementation like, so I need to print j. Okay, I need to print j. So let me print I also. So I, and let me give some gap, and later I need to print j. Okay, so later I is equals to j is equals to 1, condition satisfied, it will enter this loop. Okay, so what it will print here? It will print I and j value. What is the I value? I value is 1, and coming to the j value. What is the j value? What is the j value? J value is also 1. So it will print 1, 1. Okay, so as I said before, for each and every iteration of outer loop, the total inner loop will get executed. Means for I is equals to 1, the total inner loop means j is equals to 1, j is equals to 2, j is equals to 3. Until 3 iterations it will work. It will execute. Okay. For one iteration of outer loop, the 3 iterations of inner loop will get executed. Okay. So now first j is equals to 1. It got printed this. Later it will be updated. Okay. Now j will become some 2. Okay. Later it will go to this condition. It will check whether 2 less than or is equals to 3. Yes. Later it will come to this statement. Now it will print I and j. So what is the I value now? I value is 1 and coming to the j value is 2. Okay. Later it will go to updation. Now j will become 3. Okay. So it will check the condition whether 3 less than or is equals to 3. Yes. Okay. It will come to the this statement. Now it will print I and j. What is the I? I is 1 and coming to the j is 3. Okay. Now it will go to the updation. Now j will become 4. Whether 4 is less than or is equals to 3? No. The condition becomes false. Later it will come out of this for loop. After coming out, there is no other statements to execute, right? So it will go to the updation. Now I will get updated. I will be updated to 2. Okay. So it will check the condition. Whether 2 less than or is equals to 2? Yes. Okay. It will go to the for loop again. So now the I will again starts from 1. Okay. Now the j will again starts from 1. So it will check the condition. Whether 1 less than or is equals to 3? Yes. It will enter this statement. Okay. After entering this statement, what it need to print? I and j value. Now what is the I value? I value is 2 and coming to the j value is 1. Okay. Now again it will go to the updation. Now j value will become 2. Later it will check the condition whether 2 less than or is equals to 3. Yes, the condition got satisfied. It will enter this println statement. What it need to print? I and j. So what is the I value? 2 and coming to the j value 2. Okay, so later it will get updated. Now j will become 3. So whether 3 is less than or is equals to 3? Yes, the condition will get satisfied and it will go to the println statement. So what it need to print? I and j. I is 2 coming to the j is 3. Later it will get updated again. Now the j become 4. Okay. Whether 4 less than or is equals to 3? No. The condition will become false. It will enter this. Sorry, it will exit the inner for loop. Later, there is no statement to execute, so it will go to the updation. So now I will become 3. Okay, so it will check whether 3 less than or is equals to 2. No. Now the outer loop also will get exited. Okay, this is how it works. So for each and every iteration of outer loop, the total inner loop will get executed. Okay, this is the main thing which we need to understand in nested for loop. So for each and every iteration of outer loop, the total inner loop will get executed. Okay, so let me execute this. So you guys observe, I got 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3. Okay, so this is what? This is also looking like a matrix, right? So the outer for loop, every time whenever we are trying to print any matrix through an nested for loop, the outer loop will point to the rows. Okay, every time it points to the rows, and coming to the inner loop, it will always point to the columns. Okay, so it represents the rows and the inner loop represents columns. Okay, this is how nested for loop works. I hope it is clear. Let me know in the chat box quickly. Is it clear how the nested for loop works? Is it clear? Try to respond. Okay. So now we will see how to print one matrix. Okay. So let me have some matrix like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So simple matrix. We can print this easily like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here also like this. Let me print some 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is the matrix which I want to print. Okay. So what is the row here? This is the rows. Right. These are all the rows. How many rows I am having? I am having 4 rows in my matrix. Right. So coming to this. These are all the columns. Okay. These are all columns. So this one line is column. This is the second column. This is the third column. This is the fourth column. Okay. So the I am having 4 columns and 5 columns and 4 rows. Okay. So let me have numbers for it. So this is the first row. Okay. This is the first row. And coming to this, this is the second row. Okay. So this is the third row and this is the fourth row. Okay. So coming to the columns. So this is first, let me have some space. This is first column and this is second column. This is third column. This is fourth column and this is fifth column. Right? These are columns and these are rows. Okay. So I'm having 4 rows and 5 columns. So if you observe, each row and column will represent a cell. Okay, these are all the cells. Okay, each and every cell is a combination of row and column. Okay, so this is 1 and this column is also 1. So at the this is 1 cell. This cell number is 1. So coming to here, this is 1 2. This is second column and first row. This cell is 1 2 and coming to this cell is 1 3. This cell is 1 4. So if you observe what I want, I need to print 1 at first row and first column. Okay, whenever column number is 1 and whenever row number is 1, I need to print 1. In the same way, whenever row is 1 and column is 2, I need to print 2. Whenever row is 1 and column is 3, I need to print 3. Whenever row is equals to 1 and column is equals to 4, I need to print 4. So in the same way for second row, whenever row is equals to 2 and column is equals to 1, I need to print 1. And coming to the whenever row is equals to 2 and column is equals to 2, I need to print 2. So like this we need to print. So for this I can print this matrix with the help of nested for loop. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's see. Okay, so as I said, every time we need to represent the outer loop first, right? So the outer loop will always point to the rows. Okay, if you observe how many rows I am having in my matrix, 4 rows, right? Means 4 iterations I should have. So let me start from int I is equals to 1 and let me end with less than or is equals to Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally 4 iterations. Okay, we know that outer for loop will represent rows. Okay, so I need to have 4 rows. That is the reason I'm having 4 iterations in my for loop. So later I plus plus. Okay, next the inner loop represents columns, right? So how many iterations I should have? As there are 5 columns, I should have 5 iterations, right? So for int j is equals to, let me start with 1 and j less than or is equals to 5 and j plus plus. Okay, so later we know that for each and every iteration, the total inner iteration will execute, right? So if I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the iterations will be completed. So if you observe, let things, we said these are all rows, right? So first iteration, I will become 1. So this represents row, first row. Okay. So coming to this condition will get satisfied, it will come to the inner for loop. Okay. So if you come to the j, now j is equals to 1. Okay. So j is equals to 1 means it is representing the column. J is equals to 1. So whenever I is equals to 1 and j is equals to 1, what I need to print? What I need to print? 1. Means this value is equals to j only. Can I say this value is equals to j? Right? If I print j, then it's fine. Right? Later, j will become 2. Okay, later j will become 2. So whenever j is 2, it representing the second column. Right? So if you observe, I is equals to 1 and j is equals to 2. What I need to print? 2. So if I just print that j value, it is fine. Right? So 2 will be printed. So coming to the next, j will become 3, which is representing the third column. Right? So I will become, I is 1 and j is 3. So I need to print 3. So which is equals to j value. So simply I can print j values here. Right? So inside this, what I need to do means, I need to print j values. If you observe, how I need to print in a straight line. If I give println, it will, how it will print? How it will print? Like 1, next 2, right? Next 2, next 3, 4. Like this it will print. But I don't want. I want it in a straight line. So that is the reason what I need to do. I need to give print statement instead of println. Okay, then it will print in a straight line. Okay, so this is how. After printing, if you observe, after completing one column, so after completing one row, okay, this is the first row. After completing one row, what it is doing? It is coming to the next row, right? Means I need to use println to come to the next line. It is coming to the next line, right? So if you observe, j will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After completing the inner for loop, after printing each and it will print like this, right? So once inner for loop completed, the values will be like this. So what I need to do? I need to shift to the second line. For that, what I need to do? I need to write println statement. So if I write println statement, then it will come to the next line. Okay, then it will come to the next line and it will start printing. Okay, so where I need to write that println after completing the inner loop. So here, println statement. Okay, so it to come to the next line. So if you observe, this is the process of printing a matrix. So let's see. Okay, whether it will print or not. So I have not given here commented. Let's see. If you observe, so I got my matrix 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay, I hope it is clear how to use nested for loop for printing matrix. So like this we will be having different patterns. Okay, so we need to try with different patterns, so then we will be familiar with using nested for loop. Okay, so this is what. So I hope it is clear. Let me know in the chat box quickly. Okay, so now I have printed like this, which is 1 2 3 4 5. Can't I print reverse like 5 4 3 2 1? Can't I do that? 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so 5 4 3 2 1. Simple. Just we need to change one loop, that's it. 5 4 3 2 1. 5 4 3 2 1. 5 4 3 2 1. So can't I do this? Yes, we can. So what? How many rows? 4 rows. So I wrote first for loop for rows. Let me delete all these. Okay, so how many rows I am having? 4 rows. Okay, so I am having 4 iterations in the outer loop. How many columns? 5 columns. Same, I am having 5 iterations. Okay, so instead of this, what I need to do? I need to print in reverse, not like 1 2 3 4 5. 5 4 3 2 1 I need to print. Okay, so instead of starting with 1, I can start with 5 also, and I can end at 1. I can just decrement instead of incrementing, right? I can do that, so that I can print j value here, right? So what I will do, I will just start with 5. Okay, so until up to where? Until 1 means j greater than or equals to 1. So it need to be decremented like 5 4 3 2 1. For that I need to have decrementation operator, right? So this is what, simple. So let me try to print this. See, I got my output 5 4 3 2 1, right? So this is how we can do. And in the one more way also we can do, like we can start with 1 only. Okay, like j less than or equals to 5. Okay, j plus plus. Okay, instead of printing j here, okay, so let me assign a variable like int n is equals to 5. Okay, so what I will print here, I will print here n. Okay, after printing I need to print like 5 4 3 2 1, right? So for each and every inner loop I will decrement that value. Okay, so how it will work? First I will be 1 and j will be 1. Okay, the condition will satisfy. It will go to here, it will print n. What is the n value? 5. Okay, later it will decrement. So now what is the n value? 4. Later j will be incremented. Now j will become 2. Okay, condition will satisfy, it will come to this statement. Now what is the value of n? 4, right? So it will print 4. Okay, so later it will go to here j plus plus, which is equals to 3. Later the condition will be satisfied. Here it will print 3, right? Later it will be decremented to 2. Okay, so later it will increment to 4. Okay, so later the condition will satisfy, it will come to this, and later it will print 2. Okay, later n will become minus, which will become 1, and here again j will be incremented to 5, which is 5 less than or is equals to 5. Yes, so it will go to here. Okay, and what is the n value now? It will be printing 1. Now again n will be decremented to 0. Now it will go to the j. J will become 6. So whenever j becomes 6, this condition will become false. It will exit this loop. Okay. So once it got exited, what it need to do? It need to println. Println means it will move to the next line. So after moving to the next line, let me write like initialize. Let me initialize n again to is equals to 5. Okay, so here again n will be initialized to 5. Later, now I will be incremented, right? Now I will become 2, which is for second row. Okay, now this condition will satisfy, again it will come to inner for loop. Again the same process it will happen, same thing it will print. Later it will come to the next line with the help of this statement. Later it will be initialized to 5. So like this it can work. Okay, this is also one more way to print this. So let me show, let me save and print. See, so to print the patterns, if we think, we will get different logics. Okay, so there will be different logic for each and every pattern based on our ideas. Okay, we can implement our own patterns. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Let me know in the chat box quickly. Is it clear? Respond, guys. Is it clear?